Ask if that's better. Okay, we're live now, Lynn.
Okay. Well, I think we're back. Let's see. I can't see myself yet, Dave, but maybe you can help with that. So I think we are now not sideways, but you know, this is the time when everything is still topsy-turvy. So honestly, playing it sideways or upside down might have seemed completely appropriate. but I'm glad that we're not. Again, wherever you are watching from today, wherever your home happens to be, we are very glad that you're with us here tonight. I want to welcome people who are watching in Winnipeg, people who are watching perhaps in other parts of Canada, perhaps British Columbia or Saskatoon or Edmonton. Anyone who's watching in the United States today, a very warm welcome to you. People in various places in Ontario, wherever that happens to be. Maybe a friend in Montreal might be nice as well. And hopefully other people in Berlin and Switzerland and elsewhere can see us, can see me and listen to this at another time when they're not sleeping. Before my friends come over, I rush around and before my friends come over, I rush around and clean. I stash away my dirty clothes and stack my magazines. Throw the dishes in the sink, put on a pot of tea. Why don't you come and live in my messy house with me? Why don't you come and live in my messy house? Does everybody do this? Put on such a show? Are their places always neat? I guess I'll never know. Maybe they have Molly made a clean conspiracy. Why don't you come and live in my messy house with me? Why don't you come and live in my messy house? We can sail around the lawn sails. We can waste precious time. We can marry our mess together. Yours and mine. Yours and mine. We can dream about tomorrow. We can read Canadian House and Home. We can leave our bed unmade in the morning and lose our cellular phone, not to mention the remote. So overlook the laundry, ignore the pizza crust. If something's moving by the couch, don't worry, it's just dust. It's summer now, so you can help take down my Christmas tree. Why don't you come and live in my messy house with me? Why don't you come and live in my messy house? Why don't you come and live in my messy house with me? Why don't you come and live in my messy house? Why don't you come and live with me? Why don't you come and live with me? Why don't you come and live in my messy house with me? This is my husband Dave, who's clapping in the background. He is living in the messy house with us, and also our daughter Kala is here too. And I don't know about you guys, but we do become more aware of our flaws and our foibles, and just when we're up close with each other here in a house. And many of you are on your own, actually living completely on your own. And that's a completely different challenge as well, just being able to live with yourself in that messy house during this time. It's probably not a messy house at all anymore. In fact, I've heard some people say that their house has never been cleaner. That is not the case with ours, but we're working on it. So this is a seasonal song that was inspired by a wonderful teacher and activist whose name happened to be June. And I actually wrote this song in April as a tribute to June. And so thinking about this today, it was June Colwood who inspired the song, someone who contributed a huge amount to her community, to the community of Toronto, but also Canada in general, and who really put the focus on others, who really focused on how to make sure that people who were most vulnerable in our society were looked after. And as we're here in the middle of this pandemic, that's one of the things that's become very apparent, that the people who are the most vulnerable are the people that we need to be looking after. So this is looking ahead to a later point in the year, when perhaps the worst of this, we're through the most difficult times, but also looking toward a time when perhaps we shelter all people a little bit better from experiences like this. I feel a kind of breeze, a sweetly warming sun. It shines on us. No, that's funny. It's one of those days. Let's try that one more time. I feel a kind of breeze, a sweetly warming sun. It's like a hand that reaches out to everyone on this April afternoon. It feels a little more like June. The sun extends a smile that lights the city skies. It shines on us a while, and soon we realize so much is now in bloom. It looks a little more like June. A little more awake, a little more alive, more willing to create more room, till everyone's embraced and this whole world survives to see a day a little more like June. We'll drive away the chill that lingers in the air. Compassion and goodwill burn brighter than despair. Oh, the time is opportune to be a little more like June. And if I raise my voice, I dare to make it strong. If you and I can join to right another wrong, then this humble little tune might sound a little more like June. A little more awake, a little more alive, more willing to create more room, till everyone's embraced and this whole world survives to see a day a little more like what we've all been waiting for, to see a day a little more like June. Oh, thanks so much. I'm just going to see here, I think I can, if I look at this, I can see people maybe even beginning to comment a little bit. Yes, I see the comments, that's great. Tracy and Jody and Bob and Susan and Silken and wonderful people. Thank you so much for being with me tonight. This is wonderful. All right, this is another thing that I need to talk about. When we into this crisis, and things were really very dark and difficult, and still are. I don't know if we could have imagined what happened recently in Nova Scotia. The fact that Canada's worst mass shooting has taken place right in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic. When the news was coming out, it was almost unthinkable that this could have happened. And it's the kind of thing that it's really hard to know what to say, how to respond, and really words don't really do the trick. Often when people experience tragedy or crisis, we find that we don't know what to say. We don't know how to express the sadness that we're feeling and the care that we feel for them. So here's a song about that, not really knowing what to say. I went to the store to buy a sympathy card. I didn't expect that it would be so hard to pick up one little heartfelt note, something appropriate somebody else wrote. I want to make it better when it can't get worse, so I'm looking for something with a simple verse. Could have tried calling, but it felt too hard, so here I am shopping for a sympathy card. There's a dozen or so in the store display. The same one sold 1,000 miles away. And over there are lots of people like me, staring at the space where one should be. I want to make it better when it can't get worse, but saying something wrong has always been my curse. I want to do something, want to do my part, but all I can manage is a sympathy card. This one here is too religious in tone, but I like the one with the river and stone. This one here, it would have made him smile, and I'm choking up in the drugstore aisle. I want to make it better when it can't get worse, so I'm rushing to the counter, pulling out my purse. All I really want to do is heal one heart, as I'm signing and sealing my sympathy card. Signing and sealing my sympathy card. Thanks very much. This is another song that kind of relates to that as well, as we look at the photographs of the people, 22 people who have died, and for that matter, all the people who are now lost as a result of the coronavirus. There's that sense of recognition, and there's this odd parallel now that, as so many of us are on the Zoom screens with that mosaic of photographs. It's interesting that there's that parallelism between all of us who are living and on those screens, and also all of the pictures of the people who've been lost. This song, I was amazed and delighted to be able to write songs as part of my master's thesis when I was in seminary at Emmanuel College. And this was one of the songs that I wrote during that project, kind of observing the creative process as I did that. And this is a good time, I guess, for me to say a big hello to anyone from First Unitarian Congregation of Toronto who is watching, and anyone else who is at seminary with me, no matter where you are. And this is a song called Everybody Looks Like Somebody I Know. Everybody looks like somebody I know. Matter where it's going to be a repeated thing, I think, tonight. Everybody looks like somebody I know. Matter everywhere I look and anywhere I go. Everybody looks like someone, somebody I know. Everybody looks like somebody I've met, somebody I love, someone I can't forget, shining in my sunrise until my sunset. Everybody looks like someone, somebody I've met. Everyone I see has a familiar face, staring straight at me or staring into space. And when I look away, that's when I fall from grace. 'Cause everyone around me has such a familiar face. And everybody looks a little bit like you. Look into their eyes, you'll tell me that it's true. What you recognize, it's gonna see you through. 'Cause everybody looks a little and a lot like you. Everybody looks like somebody I know, in the obvious ways and those that barely show. Everywhere I look and anywhere I go, everybody looks like someone, somebody I know. Somebody I know. Thanks. Thank you.
One of my favorites.
Yes, my husband, that's one of his favorites, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so moving from people to others who have been very much affected by this experience that we've been having. The others that I'm thinking of are animals. The coronavirus pandemic may have been a terrible thing for humans. It is a terrible thing for humans, but it's a pretty darn good thing for house pets. Cats and dogs think this is fantastic, and so this song was inspired by a cat that we used to have that's no longer living, unfortunately. But yes, the domestic animals in our homes are affected by this. Also delighted are the wild animals. The other day, Dave and I went out for a walk, and in the schoolyard of Dundas Public School, where our kids went to school, we saw 2 hawks actually making a nest in one of the trees just above the playground. And there's no way they would have done this at regular times when there'd be lots and lots of children playing all the time. But the kids won't be back now, really, probably until September. So that couple is going to have a lovely nest there and be able to raise their young. So this is going out, I guess, to those hawks then. She jumps up every time I sit Marks on the keys and couldn't look much cuter. I tell her no again, but there you have it. She's a creature of habit. We look out, we see them flying south in V formation. The wild geese they named for our nation. Summer's almost here, so we should nab it, like the creatures of habit. Creatures of habit. I've got a habit that's very well known, a habit of needing to not be alone. Love is the pattern that's written in stone. Over and over I call you my own. Over and over I love you. We wake up, we dare to dance and dream and get our hopes up. We strike a pose, get ready for our close-up. Sometimes do some good while we're at it, 'cause we're creatures of habit. Creatures of habit. I've got a habit that's very well known, a habit of needing to not be alone. Love is the pattern that's written in stone. Over and over I call you my own. Over and over I love you. Over and over I call you my own. Over and over I love you. I love you. To all of your cats and dogs, and to the new puppy in our family, Heatley, as well, if Heatley happens to be listening tonight. Okay, so speaking of stuff we find around the house, this is a new song written just before the pandemic hit us. I've got a few pretty new songs for you tonight, actually, and this one I'd like to dedicate to my two friends, Cleela Arrington and Meg Tennant. They are both absolutely wonderful singer-songwriters, and very happy to recommend their music to you in case you haven't heard it, but probably you have. Just before the coronavirus pandemic began, they came over. We were going to have a nice afternoon of music making, which we did. And getting ready, as I was getting ready for them, I knew we would have tea. And so I decided to get the teas out and put them on the counter and get ready for my guests. So this started a complete adventure, not only in hospitality, but also in songwriting. And if any of you have also been decluttering your homes and discovering what might be in the cupboards, perhaps you can relate to this. This one I actually do have to look at lyrics, probably. Let's see how I do. There are a lot of words. We've got a box of rooibos, and we've got chamomile, and Lord in heaven help us, we've got mint tea by the mile, sleepy time and orange spice and chocolate eclair. They're all in our tea cupboard, I don't know how they got there. You want some orange pico, I'm afraid you're out of luck, but we have so many other teas, we could fill your truck. We've got Earl Grey, we've got Lady Grey, and we've got licorice spice, and a weird tea for digestion, which I'm sure is very nice. Tea cupboard, it's a wonder to behold. sweet harvest pumpkin. We've got a great blue lawn, and it cannot be for nothing. We've been stocking up so long, we might get around to loving, 'cause we're sure to stay awake when we get a pot of brewing of a tea called birthday cake. Tea covered, it's so one to behold. You've got worries, you've got troubles, we've got tea, it's just real old. That bumbleberry zinger, that peanut butter cup, well, it isn't hard to figure why no one has drunk them up like that smoky lapsang souchong and the one they call Thai food. If you visit us tomorrow, we just might serve them to you. Tea covered, pride and joy of our household. We've got worries, we've got troubles, and we've got tea, and maybe mold. We can offer black or herbal, we can give you black, we can give you green or chai, and we even might declutter that old cupboard by and by. So until then, please come over, we'll have lots and lots of tea. Then you'll ask us where the bathroom is, because you'll have to pee. Tea covered, it's so much, too much to hold. We've got worries, we've got troubles, and we've got tea, and that's a pot of gold. Thank you, everyone. I toast you with the tea that I'm not holding right now, but I think alcohol has gotten quite a bit of airplay during the pandemic. That tea. There's a place for tea in this time as well.
Yes, you had a couple quotes or a couple comments that went by that you didn't see because you were busy playing. But
Told that there were comments.
yes, Richard Somerbell said he has an apple tea from Turkey that is from 2003, and it's still good.
The apple tea from 2003, and it is still good. That
Yes.
is wonderful. Well, I think we've started something here, so maybe you could write your own verses to Tea Cupboard, and
Yes.
you could go on and on and on and on.
And David Strong says he likes Thai food.
I like Thai food as well, and
Yes.
I happen to love lapsang souchong, and I know my mother is watching, and so I'm sorry to diss lapsang souchong. It's poetic license. We do that sometimes, but it's a really good tea. Thai food is also. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And Cheryl is Cheryl in Winnipeg is commenting on audio, so I'm just going to sneak in off camera and do something here.
And Kendrew says that my mic doesn't sound as live as your mic does.
Yes, well, so let's see, tricky iPhone shooting.
So humor is so important. We just gotta laugh, honestly. But then there are other times when we really can't. And I don't know about you, but I just find my mood is like this zigzag often through the day. And so this song came out of one of those darker times. And I think sometimes some of the best songs actually. Well, they come out of all places. They can come out of every mood. But this one came out of a darker one. I guess we've done it now, my dear. Look at the mess we've made, trying to make things crystal clear. We pulled down the shade, shadow boxing strangers, still more lost than been digging deep, but I'm still making promises I don't know how to keep. I don't seek the answers I no longer wish I knew. I just pray love sees us through. It's really all that I can do, and I can't pretty it up. I can't pretty it up. I can't pretty it up anymore. No, I can't pretty it up. I can't pretty it up. I can't pretty it up anymore. 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 Thanks for all the. It's so fun watching the thumbs ups and hearts and things that are coming. So thank you very much. I really appreciate your comments and keep them coming. Might not be able to spot them as I'm singing at the same time, but I really appreciate them. And Dave, how's the sound going? I know there've been a few little things that are tricky tonight, but we're working through them. So
Yes, I would say it's improved. People are going to hear me better just because we're shooting this on an iPhone, and so the screen faces me, but the mic faces to the side. So we've moved some things around, so it should sound a little better now.
great. So this is a song appropriately then about figuring it out and learning from whatever it is that we're going through. You know, it's a cliche really that you know, difficult times build character, and yet it's true. You know, when we go through difficult times and we get through them, with the help of each other, and we build resiliency, we grow. That's really the best way to put it. This song was inspired by a family gathering. It came up after a family gathering. Small gatherings are happening now. Also want to recognize that small gatherings are happening for Ramadan. And so anyone who's celebrating Ramadan, Ramadan Mubarak, hope you are well and celebrating in a different way this year. That flavors an acquired taste, a bitter taste, it's true. Today you let it go to waste. it's really such an interesting medium, because what I'm doing is I'm sort of watching the camera that Dave's behind, and then I see myself too, but there's this little lag, so it's almost impossible to sort of check that out, because I'm doing things in a different time frame. It's very strange. Very, very strange. All right.
Punctuation.
So recently, I think it might be someone who's watching tonight, but I'm not absolutely sure. Someone, a little bit more guitar. Someone was saying that she had this sudden bout of feeling feverish. And this was a big concern, because of course it was very intense, and the fear was, oh no, I have caught the coronavirus, and this is something to be concerned about, of course. And then as that feeling of feverishness came and went, she realized that it was not, after all, the coronavirus, but something else that comes up for many women around my age. Once I was a young woman with my whole life ahead. I gave birth. Nope, I did not. Anyone who knows my music and my life knows that accepting imperfection or embracing it is a big theme for me. Anyway, not to make light of this, this is a time of life where a lot of change is happening. And so throughout my life, I've written songs about that were inspired by life events and transitions of various kinds. So this one that I've been going through recently did deserve to be explored in a song. This is called Waves. Comes over me in waves, comes over me, comes over me, comes over me in waves, comes over me, comes over me, comes over me in waves. No one talks about this, it's something that's unsaid. No longer shed as sweat rises to the surface. The surrender of a slave comes over me in waves, comes over me, comes over me, comes over me in waves, comes over me, comes over me, comes over me. With me, you could join me there in the fire and the fury. So this is turning to waves of a different kind. Many of us who are sheltering at home might really like to be in another place, perhaps a place that they would normally go during the summer, or just to get away from the city, and yet so many of us haven't been able to do that. So this is a song that maybe hopefully will take us to that place if we're longing for a place out in nature, in particular near the water. Maybe this can take us to that place. When I'm on the water, I'm above deep blue. When I hold my paddle, I can glide on through, straight into the harbor where I'm safe and sound. When I'm on the water, I see where I'm bound. When I'm on the water in the earth's embrace, the surface is a mirror where I see my face. I see who I am and who I might become. When I'm on the water, I'm no longer numb. When I'm on the water, when you're by my side, I see no more obstacle, no bank to hide. I can see tomorrow from this red canoe. When I'm on the water, I'm above deep blue. When I'm on the water, I can take it slow. Take the time to wonder till I come to know what I really want, what would make me free. I know that the water will awaken me. And when I'm on the water, when it's lit by stars, I believe it's possible to heal these scars. I can feel the changes as the waves slip past. When I'm on the water, I'm safe at last. When I'm on the water, when you're by my side, I see no more obstacle, no bank to hide. I can see tomorrow from this red canoe. When I'm on the water, I'm above deep blue. Oh, when I'm on the water, when I'm on the water, I'm above deep blue. Thank you very much.
We should read Cheryl's comment.
Thanks. I hear that there's a great comment that I cannot see. But yes, thank you for all of your comments. That I'm not able to see them. Dave is able to see them, so he can convey them to me maybe.
Sure, Cheryl says she was on the water today, but walking on it. I hope that means it's not ice. And
Cheryl was walking on the water, which may have been ice perhaps, or hopefully not.
instead
Hope you are
of
safe.
paddling,
Be safe, absolutely.
or she's achieved some sort of spiritual level.
Or she has achieved a spiritual level, yes, beyond all of us. That sounds like a wonderful thing to do. I'm glad you were able to do it. Okay, where are we going to go now? Oh, I know where. So it was Earth Day, and also on my Facebook page, you can see the poster that NASA made this year, and it's really quite stunning. It's a tree, and there's a heart in the middle of it, and it looks like arteries, both from arteries of river arteries in the world, but also arteries, as in the human body. And, you know, I couldn't write a song that says trees look like my arteries or my lungs or my heart. They do, but this one is about these things. I pray that someday I may understand why the trees look like my hands. Why do waves move like my breath? Why did it take me so long to notice? Thanks.
Bob says he put in several solos at appropriate points there.
Oh, this is good. So Bob is soloing along at home. I hope that some of you are doing the same. Maybe you're singing along or playing along. That's been one of the really wonderful things about being able to see people play and listen to them play on Facebook and elsewhere. We can play along at home, and we can improve our own skills there too. So this is another song. So, needless to say, a lot of people have been lost, and even if the people who died of the coronavirus aren't people that we know personally, we might find ourselves reminded now of other losses that have taken place in our life. And so this one actually was written after my father died, which was about 10 years ago now. hard to believe that it's been that long. Also want to acknowledge the death of John Prine. That has been something that we've done already on Facebook quite a lot over the last few weeks. But like so many artists who've been part of our lives for a very long time and who've been such an influence, it really is hard to fathom that they're not with us anymore. It's when I think I'm on the mend, having a good time out with friends. That's when I feel it coming on. That's when it hits me that he's gone. It could be any time of day. You'll hear me saying I'm okay. It's when I'm sure I'm feeling strong. That's when it hits me that he's gone. For a while I can't believe that I won't cry, I won't grieve, and everything is as it was. Nothing hurts, although it does. It could be any time at all. I'll think of how he used to talk, so forth and so on. He'd go on. That's when it hits me that he's gone. For a while I can't believe that I don't cry, I don't grieve, and everything is as it was. Nothing hurts, although it does. It's when I think I'm doing fine. It's when I've written one good line. It's when I'm sure he'd love this song. That's when it hits me that he's gone. That's when it hits me. And my thoughts are with you, anyone who is grieving anyone tonight or missing somebody that they love. As we've continued in all of these weeks, wondering what is going to come next and how we can stay safe. The presence of the sort of steady presence of leaders has been really important. And I'm thinking in particular of Justin Trudeau, who's been a lovely and steadying presence. His hair is getting longer too, I notice. It's very charming. This song was not written about political leaders, but it was inspired by someone who I would see every day, who would kind of guide me along the way and kind of show me what I needed to do to stay safe. And so I'm just so very grateful for those doctors and politicians and people who are working very hard to help us know what to do and maybe tell us a little bit about what's coming around the corner. Here we go. colorful coat. It's like a little lifeboat in this cold rain. Crossing guard, I like the way you take note of me walking this road now and again. As all of us are stumbling for the other side, like chickens in the middle of the road, frequently too frightened to look left or right, as we are told. Crossing guard, you know I almost got hit. I nearly got kicked down to the curb. I've taken it hard, I don't understand it. The thought I could slip had not occurred. But all of us are stumbling for the other side. We don't wait until the coast is clear, frequently too blinded to wait for that light. I'm glad you're here, I'm glad you're here. All of us, all of us, all of us, crossing guard, you remind me to wait in this typical state of in between. You say it isn't so hard, I'm not running so late to appreciate the turning green. As all of us are stumbling for the other side, just chickens in the middle of this road, frequently too frightened to wait for that light, as we are told, as we are told, as we are told, as we are told. David Stahn sends a heart, and David's a teacher, so in particular appreciates those crossing guards, and we're missing them when they're not around these days. Okay, so thinking still on this theme of transportation. This has been a time when slowing down has become enforced, which I guess for not everybody really. I mean, some people actually have been working even harder these days. There's such a mix of people who are quite idle and out of work, other people who are working harder than they ever have before, often on online platforms that they might not be familiar with. But for many people, this has been a time when we needed to assess things, to think about maybe how fast we've been going. I heard that Ontario Hydro just released some figures that note that we are apparently sleeping in the mornings because less electricity is being used first thing. So perhaps some of us are slowing down a little bit, and maybe that will help us continue to make healthy choices. That sounds so cliche. Help us to make the choices that are needed for the earth and for our society if we slow down and if we're a bit more mindful. 40 tons of metal, shiny silver steel. I am heavy on the pedal, all my weight upon the wheel, riding high above the highway, up above the room. 20 turned to 40 in the blinking of an eye. And now I'm pushing 50 as the miles go clicking by. Slow me down, slow me down, slow me down, slow me down. Funny how it hits you as you pick up speed. The things you put behind you are the things you really need. You can see them in the mirror, in the twilight glow. They are always on your shoulder. Never mind how fast you go. Slow me down, slow me down, slow me down, slow me down. Well, they say I've got it in me, everything I need to keep these wheels in motion as I regulate my speed. I know I could activate it, it's just something I don't do. Darling, if we're going to make it, then I've got to turn to you to slow me down, slow me down, slow me down, slow me down. Thank you. So let's hope we'll be able to take some lessons from this experience as a society. Maybe not pick up some things that we had before. This is another new song that stays in this vein of maybe doing less. A lot of us, as I mentioned before, are doing a lot of Zoom conferences, Zoom meetings. Last night I was on a Zoom meeting, and there were about maybe 12 of us. And at one point in the conversation, no one had anything to say. It was quite a moment. We just sort of stopped and paused there and looked at each other on the screen. And I said, well, actually, it's really okay. We don't have to fill the space with words all the time. And it was we could just be in each other's presence. We could just be with each other without saying anything. And so maybe this is a time when we might experiment with that a little bit. Let's talk to each other like trees. Let's talk to each other like trees. We don't have to use words like these. Let's talk to each other like trees. Let's speak to each other like stones in their subterranean tones. I can feel it deep in my bones. We could speak together like stones. Let's talk to each other in ways we don't even know that we knew. In these inconceivable Let's talk to each other like rain falling on the thirstiest grain. Let's be with each other like clouds high above these clamoring crowds. Let's be with each other like night, abiding in the absence of light. Let's be with each other like space, and listen with an infinite grace. Let's be with each other in ways we don't even know that we knew. In these inconceivable days, I believe it's all we can do. If we were together that way, the earth and the stars would be pleased. And now there's no time to delay. So let's be with each other like stones, rain, clouds, night, space, trees. Thank you very, very much. I think I'll have to make an album someday of just tree songs. Really, quite a few of those. Let's see. In fact, there is another tree song that I wasn't going to put in the set, but maybe it does call for it. I'm notorious for changing my set list, and this is a favorite. So I haven't mentioned actually all of my songs, except for a few tonight. They're all available, easily found on iTunes and on Spotify. If you can't find one, just let me know and I'll send it to you. This one goes back to a record called Learning Curve, and so again, kind of as we aspire to be the best people we can be in these times, which is really difficult because we're under so much stress, and sometimes it's not easy to rise above it, but we hope that we can. Tall trees by the water, they see much more than me. As I travel my tangled up pathway, wondering where I should be under the tall trees, straight and narrow, guide me, point me home, where love is the North Star above me, and peace is the ground deep below. There grow the tall trees, tall trees. They were here before artificial light, the dropping of the bombs, the darkening of the night. And if I had the courage, I'd climb to the top much for listening. Thanks for being here. I feel your presence, and I see your comments. Thank you very, very much. Some of the people who I think are the most heroic in this time of coronavirus pandemic are the people who are home with children, in particular people who are home working with young children, especially, very especially, the single parents who are in that situation. And I just have a world of admiration for those folks. I'm really hoping that actually that our next door neighbors, that I'm not keeping up the boys who live next door with this living room concert tonight. So I'm going to do a few more songs for you, and then we'll call it a night. But this song was written when our children were pretty small, but it still has as much meaning for me today as it did when it was written. It dates itself when you hear the vintage of the vehicle that is mentioned in the song. So we're traveling halfway across the country in a 90 Honda with 2 kids. We'll be on the road till Sunday. Whose idea was this? Past the rocks and trees and reservations, over roads too rugged to resist, across the borders of 2 nations. Whose idea was this? Whose idea was this? Whose sweet romantic notion that 2 who are so different could combine? Whose idea was this? Who set the wheels in motion? Whoever thought we'd make it home in time? We'll make it home tonight by the light of the tractor trailer. We'll make it home tonight by the light of the hotel pool, and it will be alright, 'cause all those who have gone before us, they call smooth roads the exception to the rule. Whose idea was this? Whose sweet romantic notion that 2 who are so different could align? Whose idea was this? Who set the wheels in motion? Whoever thought we'd make it home in time? Home in time, in time, home in time, home in time. Well, thanks everyone. Thanks so much. Well, what do you think? Time for. Just want to make sure I've played everything for you.
Punctuation.
Dave has a request. I wasn't planning to do.
Oh, you weren't going to play?
No, I was. Well, I wasn't going to repeat. I wasn't going to repeat anything, and I did it last time.
Oh, well, it deserves to be played again.
Well, okay. This is for Dave. So this is for Dave. This is another new song, which I played in the last living room concert, but I'm happy to do it again. And just a huge thanks to Dave for assisting me with this show tonight, and for all of you for watching. The thing is, can I do it? It's such a new song. I don't even know if I can. Yeah, okay. So this was an interesting little song that kind of arrived out of nowhere. And it came just before. It arrived just before the pandemic hit, and you know I don't like to say that it was kind of prophetic. It was kind of prophetic in a bit of an odd and scary way. Don't blame me. Punctuation. I need a break. I need some space, little time away for a change of pace. I'm seeking some It's a crazy life, and it does run on through the restless nights, with the dreams soon gone. If a question mark marks the end of days, it'll break my heart and take my breath away. Thank you very much. By request from my husband Dave. So it's after 9. This really has flown by, and
You should keep going.
Dave says I should keep going. Well, would you like another new song?
Yes, yes,
All right.
yes.
All right. Okay, I am gonna do just 2 more for you, because I think I don't want to keep the boys
You're fine.
next door. So this is another newish song, which also I think sort of suits the mood. Over the past few weeks, I think at the beginning, we were a lot of people were kind of frantically trying to get in touch with people. You know, there's a lot of connection with a lot of people in those first few weeks. Often there was a lot of work taking place as people were adjusting to new ways of working. And now I've noticed myself, and perhaps others have too, that I have settled into a new rhythm. And not necessarily happy about that, but it feels like I've kind of gotten into a bit more of a groove. And this song came about, again, thinking about getting older and sort of some of the settling that can happen with that. What was that sound? Something deep inside the dusty ground. What's calling me down? Clocks are unwound. After all the years of lost and found, I'm settling down. Stilling my mind, seeking comfort of a different kind. This moment inclined not to drown. Falling back to this simple faith and love for you. I'm settling down. Where does the time go? Why am I still singing that? Oh, where does the time go? Why am I still singing that song? As I'm writing my rhymed reflections, always wondering where I went wrong. Walk with me through the late show as the sunset shades this town, as we're settling down, settling down. Well, Bob Cohen writes perfect imperfection. Thank you, Bob. Let it all go. All the things you do not have to know, above and below, and all around. Let it all be, and the ground of love will set you free, will settle you down. Where does the life go, baby? We're still singing that song as we lower our expectations, try to grow more grateful and strong. Walk with me through the late show as the sunset shades this town, as we're settling down, settling down. Settling down. We are settling down. Thank you so much. want to acknowledge, it's interesting, there's been a kind of a high school reunion, speaking of time going by, there's been a bit of a high school reunion online tonight, so thank you again, all of you, for being here tonight. It's been wonderful to be with you. All of my friends here in Toronto and relatives, my Aunt Eleanor in Texas, and perhaps other relatives there.
Sally.
And Sally is there too, well, Eleanor and Sally, and yes, so welcome, so good to have you here. I have to sing a song just for Sally and Eleanor and any other relatives who are there. I think I played this last time too. Hope I can come and visit again. Fragrance of magnolias, the angle of the light, sound of the cicadas helps me sleep at night. Melodies and memory, ways I understand. You speak directly to me, telling me I am home away from home. Home away from home, I am home away from home. Home away from home. Everybody's moving, no one ever stays anywhere for long now. Still the roots remain deep below the hard ground, beneath the family tree. When you follow them down, you might come to be home away from home. Home away from home, yes ma'am. Home away from home. Home away from home. Maybe we're all ended from some star above, blooming where we're planted, loving whom we love, waking up in places where the soul is found, where the voice of grace says we are safe and sound. Home away from home. Home away from home, we are. Home away from home. Home away from home, yes ma'am. Home away from home. Home away from home, I am. Home away from home. Home away from home. Thanks again. Thanks so much for being here. So I think I will call it a night with the song. You know, this is a time when we might become a little bit more aware of our sharp edges. If we're kind of isolated at home, whether we're with other people or by ourselves, when we're aware of our fears and our anxieties, and the sense of loss and grief that we've been experiencing. I do hope that things turn a corner soon, and that soon we'll be able to see each other in person, not just on these screens, and most importantly that people stay safe, and that fewer and fewer people are infected with the virus. So wherever you are, may you be well. May you be at ease. so blessed to share. Thanks so much for being here. Tonight, my child.